Hello, it's Michael Heppel here. It's been a while since I've recorded an interview. Cheers, lockdown, eh? This time I'm chatting to BigFatBig, a slacker pop band from the northeast of England. We're going to be talking about their career so far, including their latest single, Don't Wanna Be Sad. It was released on the 25th of March 2021, and if you've not heard it yet, I highly recommend you give it a spin. It's a tough tune, and it'll be stuck in my head for a few more days, that's for sure. Firstly, Robyn, can you introduce yourselves as a band and obviously what your roles are within the band?
Yeah, so hello, my name is Robyn. I'm the singer in a band called BigFatBig. We are from Sunderland, currently based in Newcastle. I'm the singer, like I said, but we do also have Katie who plays guitar and Chaz who plays bass, and then we have a session drummer called Joe, and we make slacker pop music.
There we go. So how did you all meet, and were you in bands previous to BigFatBig?
So me and Katie have been friends since we were like 11, so like 11 or 12 years now, like a really long time. We met in secondary school, in our first year of secondary school, and we've just been friends forever, and we've always kind of done music stuff together, but we didn't do any original stuff. So after school, we did a lot of busking and stuff together in school,
yeah.
And then we moved on to college. We went to college together, and we did music together at college, and yeah, funny you should mention being in other bands. I've been in another band since I was about 17. So I kind of got busy with that, and we still did kind of cover stuff even there, but we never wrote our own music together. We decided that we wanted to do stuff together. It was maybe 2018, the back end of 2018. There's an artist from Liverpool called Zuzu who was like absolutely fundamental in us deciding that we were going to start, like the time was now to start it. And I loved her for a long, long time. Me and Katie went to see her live, and it was kind of at that show something clicked, and we were like, yep, that's it, that's what we're going to do. And then we wrote a bunch of songs together. We met Chaz through pretty much just asking people if they knew a bass player. We didn't specifically ask for a female bass player, that's just kind of how it worked out. And we got really lucky. She was kind of the first person that we spoke to, and we just knew that it was the right fit there and then. So yeah, me and Katie have been friends for a really, really long time, and then just kind of been friends with Chaz since starting the band, but it's definitely a bond that isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and you and Chaz always seem to have a good laugh as well when you're making YouTube videos. They look as if they're a lot of fun to do them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they really are. I mean, we started the YouTube channel just completely out of boredom in lockdown.
Yeah.
But me and Chaz actually live together, so I mean, we've obviously got to get on well to live together. But I think it just kind of goes to show that it's not just like for the cameras or like for social media that we like get on so well. We do actually have to live with each other, and we enjoy living together. So yeah, no, they're loads and loads of fun to film.
Yeah, they do look it. So where did the name BigFatBig come from?
We get asked this question like all the time, and I wish there was. I wish there was a good answer. Like there just isn't really. Basically, we have a friend who there's a band from Newcastle. You've probably heard of them already, called Deep Sleep, and their guitarist Ben. So we're really good friends with all of them. But the guitarist in Deep Sleep, Ben, we were like really close to him for a period of time, and he was just calling everything Big Fat. Like it didn't matter what it was. Like gonna go for a big fat drink. Like go to Big Fat Bed. Like it didn't matter what it was, he would put Big Fat in front of it. And do you know when you just like are around someone for so long that their vocabulary just rubs off onto you?
Yeah.
So we just started doing the same, and then when we were looking for a name for the band, we had like a few other ideas and like nothing was really sticking. And then when all of that kind of happened and we started saying that all the time, we were like, well, it's got to be Big Fat something. Like we knew it was going to be Big Fat, but we didn't know what the ending was going to be. And then when we realized was when you Google Big Fat and then like any other word, like something comes up, but Big Fat Big, like nothing really comes up.
Yeah.
Because like why would it? It's a stupid name. So yeah, we just decided to like take advantage of that really. And when you Google Big Fat Big, luckily we're the first thing that comes up, so it did pay off.
It did indeed, didn't it? Now I was just saying, obviously your YouTube channel does look like a lot of fun. Obviously, yeah, as well, give them a subscribe, guys. BigFatBig. One thing I like are the In Your Ears videos. Who are you massively influenced by?
We have so many influences. I'd say the main one is a band from New Jersey called the Front Bottoms.
Yeah.
They're like quite an underground emo folk band, probably, like, is the best way to describe them. But in terms of like lyrics and especially when we're starting a song, like when wherever the idea comes from, the idea is 9 times out of 10 always influenced by something that they've done, or like a lyric that we've clung onto, or something like that. And again, they're another band that has just been absolutely kind of fundamental in us sounding the way that we do and kind of existing in the first place. And the thing that we love the most about them is that they care so much about everything. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like what they had for breakfast or like world politics. Like, they seem to care the same about everything. And I think that's really inspiring to us to like make a mountain out of a molehill almost. So they'd probably be the top one. There's other bands like the Subways. They're another massive influence to us. Kate Nash would be another one. Again, lyrically, I think Kate Nash is a genius, and her debut album is, I mean, everyone knows Foundations and stuff like that, but the entire album we think is just a total masterpiece. So that was definitely another piece of music that inspired us to sound the way that we do, and she inspires us like day in, day out, every day.
Yeah. Can you give me a spoiler then? What song you've been listening to loads in April, Robyn?
Oh, so much, so much. I've been listening to a lot of, I mean, I listen to a lot of local music just anywhere. Like, I'm a massive like fan of local music in general. And I always kind of, like, this is an album that I go back to time and time again. It's a guy called James Leonard Hewison from Hartlepool, and his album, Only the Noise Will Save Me, is like one of my favourite albums ever. Like, I just think he's amazing, so underrated. So definitely James Leonard Hewison. I've also been listening a lot to Baby Queen, who is an artist from down south somewhere. I'm not really sure where she's from, but her music's absolutely amazing. But yeah, that might be a bit of an insight into the April in our ears video.
Yeah, that's it. So who does all the writing for your tracks? Is it a joint effort, or is it just one of yours?
Yeah, I mean, every song that we've written's actually been different pretty much. It used to be me and Katie would just sit in a room with an acoustic guitar and just be like, we're going to write a song about this. Like, we find it difficult to write without a stimulus, so we would decide what the song was going to be about before we started writing, where I know that that's not what a lot of people do. They find that quite restrictive, but I think if we didn't, then it would just be absolute nonsense, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just not, like, we like to write something, like, about something. We like to have a brief to write to. So it started off as kind of just me and Katie in one of our rooms, kind of writing like that. But more recently, we've been writing all together. And a lot of the time, we do kind of have to like force ourselves to write something. Again, I know a lot of people would struggle to that and kind of feel really like under pressure, but I think we do work best like that. So we'll all go into a room and we're like, we're not leaving this room until we've got something written that we can, even if it's just a starting point or like an idea or something, we're not leaving this room until we do it. So Katie does do a lot of the lyrics. She's really talented lyricist. And she's always been a really good writer, but I don't think she realised how good she was until we started the band. So yeah, Katie does do a lot of the lyrics, but more recently we have been writing a lot together, which has been really fun.
Yeah. So what are the meanings behind your music then? So obviously you say that you always start with something to like sing about. What are usually those things that you sing about?
Yeah, I mean, everything that we've released so far, all of them pretty much have been really different. So we started off, the first song that we ever put out, Science, was the first song that we ever wrote. And that was like based off true experiences, like our experiences in relationships with men, and kind of like the overall arching theme was like misogyny and being treated as less than, even though kind of we know our worth, and that's kind of the whole idea behind that. Don't Want to Be Sad is really as simple as it is. I think we do like to be quite upfront about things. It's very rare that we'll put something in a metaphor. A lot of the times we're just going to say it how it is. And Don't Want to Be Sad is probably the best example of that. So Bored as well, like, it couldn't be any clearer. Like, it's just a song about being bored. But then in terms of more recently when we've been writing things, we've been kind of imagining scenarios and like writing about characters and things like that. Like, the next song that we're going to put out is a song about marriage. None of us are married, but we wrote that song. We decided that was a cool concept and we ran with it. And it's been kind of cool to experiment and like think about different ways that we can push ourselves in terms of our writing and stuff. So hopefully we'll get some really cool things like out the other end of that.
Indeed. And so who would you say that you'd love to collab with if you were ever given the opportunity?
Oh, that is such a hard question. I think the obvious answer for us would be Zuzu, because she's like from day one, she's been such a massive influence to us.
Yeah.
And she's also been one of our biggest fans as well and biggest supporters, which has just been so nice. We played a show with her last March, just before everything shut down, and it's one of our like fondest memories and biggest achievements as a band, to have been able to do something like that, because she is just completely influential to us in every way. So I think that would probably be the obvious answer. Again, and bands like Lauren Hibbard, she would be another one. I would love to write something with Lauren Hibbard. But they are kind of quite similar in terms of genre. So yeah, I mean, if we're talking like dream artists to collab with, it would be Hayley Williams for me, because I'm the biggest Paramore fan in the world. But in terms of people that we kind of maybe in the future could and would love to write something with, I think Zuzu and Lauren Hibbard would be at the absolute top of the pile.
There we go. Now, a massive well done for getting Don't Want to Be Sad a Nova Track of the Week. I mean, it's a prestigious award, that one. Obviously, that one was from the 20th of April and it ran till the 27th or the 28th. I think you actually got an extra day of being the Track of the Week, which is always handy.
There you go.
Has your music had any other achievements so far?
Oh, definitely. I mean, since we started, I mean, we didn't really expect to do much. Me and Katie started this just purely because we had something to say. Like, we knew that we had stories to tell and things to say. So the fact that anyone listens to our music is an achievement for us. Like, we're so grateful that people still spin our music on Spotify and things like that. Even we're coming up to having things out for 2 years and that people still care and it wasn't just like a phase. It was really, really cool. I would say our biggest achievements, in terms of like actual tangible achievements, the first one would definitely be the Zuzu show that I mentioned, just because it felt like everything had come back full circle. And to know that someone that you respect and admire so much kind of wants to play with you is like the best feeling in the world. But then we also played Radio 1's virtual Big Weekend last year, which was like a dream come true. Like, that was absolutely amazing. And like I say, we didn't expect, I mean, we thought like our friends and our moms would care, but like in terms of anyone further afield, we weren't really bothered about that. It wasn't the goal. But now that people have started to pay attention, it's addictive. Do you know what I mean? Like, we want people to care more. We want to keep doing these big shows and things like that. So to have a couple of them in the bag already is amazing. But Big Weekend was incredible. It was just an absolute dream come true.
That's it. I mean, I don't think realise as well if they comment on a YouTube video or anything like that, just how much it like kind of helps.
100%.
Like
on any social media, the algorithm is
100%.
insane. Like, you can't like predict what the algorithm's gonna do one day to the next. So like, just commenting on things, sending it to your friends, like even just giving it a like, you don't understand like how much it can actually help small bands like us.
It really does.
So we really do appreciate all of the support that we get.
Especially Facebook as well. Always like the Facebook pages.
Definitely, all of them.
So obviously 2020 and so far this year has been a massive disaster for music, venues and hospitality in general. Just how have things been for you and how have you managed to adapt?
I mean, it's been tough. I think I would just be lying if I said that it had all been easy, and there's definitely been more than one breakdown along the way. I think because 2020 was supposed to be such a huge year for us. Like, we had our biggest shows to date. We had some massive festivals booked in. So it was tough, not even just to not do those, but to kind of like, you work so hard to get these things and then you just felt like everything had been ripped away from us. Mm-hmm. So that was really, really hard to deal with. And it does kind of make you feel like, why do I bother kind of thing. Like, when you work for years and years and years to get to the point that you are, and then everything kind of just stands still. It was really tough. But again, we have had some amazing opportunities off the back of it. Like Big Weekend, we wouldn't have had that if we didn't go into lockdown and things like that. So I think it's really important to stay positive, because we do absolutely love what we do. And like I say, we don't do it for the success or for the big shows or anything like that. We do it because we love it. We do it because we've got something to say. So that keeping that in mind was really important for us. And we've managed to release, I mean, the second song that we put out, we released like a week into lockdown, and then we've released another 2 since then. So they've gone really well. I think it's given us some time to focus on our social media, which has been really important for us. It's been like starting the YouTube channel, we've started a TikTok, we've kind of put more effort into our social media content in general. So it's been really fun as well, not just doing it for the rewards of it. We've had like a really good time putting the effort into it and making this content for people. So that's been fun. And like I said, we did obviously get some really amazing opportunities as well as that we wouldn't have got otherwise. So swings and roundabouts. It was obviously really tough, and if we could go back, obviously no one wanted to be in lockdown, like it wasn't fun, but there was some positives that came out of it as well, and I think it's important to kind of remember that and keep perspective on that.
I think it's just as well as handy as obviously the fact that we're in lockdown as well. The fact that you were probably living with Chaz as well has probably made things so much easier for you.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of like having a friend, like we moved in together in September, so I've kind of experienced it both ways. That was the first time that I'd moved out, so I was living with my parents before then, and I absolutely love my parents, don't get us wrong, but like when you're living with the same people day in, day out, it does drive you a bit mad, especially when it's not like someone your age and it's not someone who necessarily shares interests with you and stuff. So moving in with like a couple of my friends was a really good decision, not only for like mental health but just for like the sake of the band. In terms, we've managed to like write stuff together, we've managed to film stuff together, we've like, it was just easier in terms of like even just getting places and stuff, you know, like it just made everything a lot easier. So that's definitely taken a little bit of the strain off.
That's it, and it's definitely helped your YouTube channel out for one thing.
Yeah,
and it does look really, really good, your channel. I mean, I think I've watched most of your videos now.
Oh, good. I'm glad. We do really enjoy the YouTube stuff, and like YouTube's so hard to get people to engage with, because
really
I think getting people to click on any kind of link is hard. Like pre-save and link, if you want people to listen to on Spotify and you've got to leave the app. Like people are lazy, like we all are lazy just as a species. So getting people to click on a link is like pulling teeth sometimes. So we have really enjoyed doing the YouTube stuff, and even if it doesn't get the engagement, we do just enjoy it. And I think it just helps us be able to like be confident and talk about things and stuff like that. There's been so many benefits to starting it, even if it doesn't like get the same numbers as it would if we put it straight on IGTV or something like that. Like it's been a lot of fun. We have really enjoyed it.
Now, I for one can't wait to see you perform live. Have you got any plans in place to gig this summer?
We actually have plenty in place this summer. We have so many plans to play live. The first show that we have back, which we absolutely can't wait for, is Monroe Festival in Stockton, and that's on the 30th of this month, which is really soon, so can't wait for that. We've got a couple of things that are unannounced, a couple of festivals that are unannounced, most of them are unannounced actually. I think the only other things that are announced is we're playing Palooza in Middlesbrough on the 7th of August, which will be the best time ever. It's Base Camp, which is my favourite venue in the whole North East. I love it there. And then we are playing a festival in Manchester as well called No Man's Land on the 14th of April, so the following week. So that's really fun, but the majority of our shows are still unannounced, so you'll just have to keep an eye out for that.
No. Anything close to home? Anything in Newcastle?
We don't have anything in Newcastle, I don't think. A lot of our stuff is in Teesside. We have so many shows booked in Teesside. So a lot there. We've got some up and down the country, but we'll definitely have a Newcastle show before the end of the year, because we're definitely not gonna leave them out.
And we're going to hold you to that. So obviously you were just saying there, where's your dream venue to perform?
If I could play anywhere in the world, I mean, if we're talking dream venue, then it would be Glastonbury. Like Glastonbury Festival will be the absolute dream.
The big one.
Yeah, 100%. I think venues close at home, like Boiler Shop, I would absolutely love to play Boiler Shop. I saw the Subways there just before the first lockdown, and it was one of the best shows that I've ever been to. I mean, obviously that was because of the band, but it was definitely helped by the venue that it was held in, and I know that we all do really want to play there. The new Little Buildings, we played there once before everything gave up, so it would be nice to go back there. I love kind of small cap shows, like really intimate, sweaty shows. They're my absolute favourites, and I think Little Buildings is the perfect place to do that in, so we would definitely love to go back there. with the new Pop Rex, which is opening in Sunderland. It hasn't opened yet, but once it does, would absolutely love to be able to play there. The amount of work that's gone in behind the scenes to kind of get that to the standard it is now is insane. Like, they haven't stopped working for the last few years. So Pop Rex, I mean, I'm from Sunderland, so that's definitely at the top of my list to play when we're allowed to.
Yeah, indeed. And have you got any other plans for the future coming up?
Definitely, yeah. We've got another single to put out, at least one more single before the end of the summer. I don't want to say too much, but to be honest, I can't really say too much. I don't really know too much. We've got it recorded, it's ready to go, but I don't really know anything aside from that. But I think it'll probably be before the end of the summer that we put that out. We do want to get back in the studio. It's just obviously so expensive, and because the majority of our shows from last year were cancelled, money is very tight.
Yeah.
So we'll do what we can to get back in the studio, but we definitely do have at least one more song this year to put out.
There we go. And obviously now social media links, if you want to mention any of those, Robyn.
Yeah, so it's BigFatBig everywhere except from Twitter, which it is BigFatBig _. Annoyingly, someone already had that handle. I don't understand why, but they do. So it's BigFatBig everywhere aside from Twitter, where you just put an underscore on the end.
There we go. And obviously, reference as well to your video yesterday. I mean, if you haven't seen it, obviously get on the BigFatBig YouTube channel. It's really important. The 8 ways to support your friends or artists that are your friends are really important. And if you can obviously just drop a like, drop a comment, just the best one by an absolute mile is to share. Just press that share button and send it to your own Facebook page, and obviously invite your friends to Facebook pages. That's the big one for me. If people invite their friends to your page, it'll just blow it up.
It just means a lot. Like, I think people just think, oh well, it's only Facebook, or it's only this, or it's only that, but it's not just that to us. Like, it does mean an awful lot, so we do really appreciate all the support we get. It
really is, the audience. I mean, I know exactly what you're saying as well. I mean, I've obviously got my YouTube channel here, trying to do interviews, trying to obviously get people to do them. That's always a thing as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But there we go. First video in 3 months. It's been a while, but it's been great to be back. Thank you very much, Robyn, for joining us. And I hope to see you live really, really soon on a stage.
Can't wait. See you at the front.
Thank you very much, Robyn.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
No problem.